Hello everyone, this is the Film Buff Gamer Guy, and the last video I talked about the upcoming movies of 2023 that I look forward to. With the video games one, I feel like this video is going to be a lot shorter, and the reason why is because because video games take a longer time to make, that's probably the reason why. While movies can get filmed in a few months, and then they do all the special effects and all that. And then boom. So, but there are still games in 2023 that I do plan on purchasing when they come out. So, the games that I know that are coming out this January is a new Fire Emblem, which is like a Dynasty Warriors hack and slash type game. I haven't played any of the Fire Emblem games, so if I'm honest, because, well, I can't buy every game in the world. I haven't played every game in the world, and I probably should get around to playing Fire Emblem Awakening. I know Ike and Marth in Smash Brothers and other characters, but I haven't played any of the Fire Emblem games. I think there's one on GameCube and one on the Wii, which is overpriced, and I doubt I'll spend that money on one Wii game unless I'm Jeff Bezos or something. And then there's a new Dead Space game coming out. I actually downloaded the original Dead Space on my laptop. It's the old version. No, I did play old games on my PC. Yeah, I did play Team Fortress 2, which is a year older than Dead Space. Which I heard this game is a classic, and it's a game that I should play. But there's a PS5 remake coming this January, which obviously it upgrades the graphics and from the PS3. Dead Space was originally on the PS3 and Xbox 360. But I think the problem I have with the Dead Space remake is that it's $70, it's full priced, and I think that price is a little too much for an older game on the PS3 back in 2008. So, yeah, I hope it doesn't have any microtransactions or any EA dirt on. But it has the original creator of Dead Space, so I will, if I could afford it, I will get the Dead Space remake. Then there are sequels to games I look forward to. I really enjoyed Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order back in 2019. This game is by EA, and that game really surprised me. And I do look forward to Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I look forward to go seeing that. And then there is Breath of the Wild 2. I've been playing a lot of the original Breath of the Wild. Even after 6 years, Breath of the Wild is one of the best Zelda games. It's one of the more open-ended Zelda games, and hopefully in the future when Nintendo makes another console, that they will make an Unreal Engine Zelda game. That would be pretty cool. I think it's called Kingdom of Tears, I think. I don't know what Tears of the Kingdom. That's what the new Zelda game called. This game got delayed a lot because Nintendo has to make sure the game works on the Switch, and they might delay it until 2025 because Zelda U, Breath of the Wild was called Zelda U, was originally going to be on the Wii U, but because of the failure of the Wii U, it became a Switch launch title. Well, Breath of the Wild did come out on the Wii U, but it was the last game on there. And then there is Pikmin 4. Pikmin's a fun game, and I played it at my cousin's house on the Wii back in the day when I was a kid. And one thing I wish Nintendo would do is port the original GameCube Pikmin games, which I do. I'm not a wealthy person, but I do. But if I want to waste money on Pikmin on the GameCube, then I will absolutely play that. And there's a new Pikmin 4 coming out. It's not a very demanding game on the Switch, I'm pretty sure. But I do enjoy the first Pikmin, and I can't wait for Pikmin 4. But I will mention that there are some projects that are coming, but they don't have release dates. They could come out in 2023, but they are coming. There is Hades 2. I loved the original Hades. I played it. I played the game on the Switch, and Hades. The best way to play Hades is on the Switch because that portable feeling works really well. And Hades 2 is supposed to come out, I don't know. And then there's another project called Lord of the Rings Gollum, which is a game which is based on the book. So it doesn't have any of the actors from the Lord of the Rings films. So no Martin Freeman or anything about that, or no Elijah Wood or anything. It's about the game takes place between The Hobbit, like the tutorial level is supposed to be the Riddles in the Dark scene with Bilbo. Then all the way through the events of Return of the King. Looking into this, I thought Lord of the Rings Gollum was Switch exclusive, but the developers decided, you know what, let's port it on PlayStation and Xbox consoles. So that's Lord of the Rings Gollum. It's just a project I know it's coming. It looks like it's going to be a terrible game. But it's just interesting to talk about. It's been in development hell for a while. 2023 will also be a big year for Xbox and Bethesda. A few years ago, Microsoft had bought out Bethesda, and I took off my glasses, and the two Bethesda games that are coming on the Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S is Starfield, which is kind of like Outer Worlds, but instead of a cartoonish art style, it's a more realistic art style. And then there is Redfall, which at first I thought was going to be an Elder Scrolls game like Elder Scrolls 6, but it's not. Because Bethesda wants to release Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim over and over and over again. Instead of a remake of Elder Scrolls Arena, a remake of that, or a remake of Daggerfall, those games aged quite a bit, and it won't hurt for those remakes to be made. And also Bethesda is Xbox exclusive, which, to be honest with you, exclusives are annoying, but they are necessary. They're like TV ads and YouTube ads. They're annoying, but they are necessary. That's my view on exclusives. And maybe if I have more money to spend, which I don't, I would rather save it on important stuff. And then there's the Resident Evil 4 remake and an Alone in the Dark remake. There are a lot of remakes of classic horror movies, of classic horror games this year. And I've been playing a lot of Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube a lot, and Resident Evil 4 is a classic game. Even after a decade and a half, Resident Evil 4 is still a fantastic game, and I don't feel like the reason of why remaking it, just improving the graphics and all, aside from that, or making Ashley less annoying or something like that. Because I'm a Resident Evil fan. I I played the Resident Evil 2 remake. I played the original Resident Evil on the original PlayStation, and I love the Resident Evil series. I'm a fan. I consider myself a fan. And then there's a new Alone in the Dark remake. The Alone in the Dark series isn't as popular as Resident Evil or Silent Hill, but the original 1992 created that genre. Without Alone in the Dark, there won't be Resident Evil. I played the first 3 games on DOS, and they are still fun games to play, but they're not masterpieces. And if you know what you're doing, you could basically beat the original Alone in the Dark in about an hour and a half, or probably less. And Alone in the Dark 2, they thought, in the game designers thought it would be a good idea to give the zombies guns, which wasn't a good idea. And from my understanding, the original Alone in the Dark is still fun, but short, and you could basically finish it in a short period amount of time if you know what you're doing. But the remake looks creepy. Creepy as hell. It's not Atari this time. Atari's no longer involved with the Alone in the Dark franchise. Like back in 2014, 2015, Atari just threw an online cooperative Left 4 Dead style third-person shooter of Alone in the Dark. And they were like, you know what, I'm just going to throw a random online cooperative shooter. People will play it or not. And if it makes money, then we'll port it on PS4 and Xbox One. But, oh yeah, but if people don't play it, then that's fine. We're just gonna throw out a new Alone in the Dark, because why the fuck not? That's what Atari did. But Alone in the Dark is now at THQ, now a different company. I would prefer another company, but whatever. But the trailer and gameplay looks pretty cool, and the graphical style looks more like BioShock Infinite. And I like the new atmosphere in the trailer, and the game's gonna come out New Year's Eve 2023, which is technically gonna come out in 2024. But I still count it as a 2023 video game. And that's my list. It's a lot shorter, but I thought I would like to ramble a little bit about upcoming projects coming in 2023. So anyway, this is the Film Buff Gamer Guy signing out. Have a good one.